Hello, welcome back, everyone. We'll go ahead and get straight to it. So, her own mother called 911 to report her missing. This morning, a sheriff stood at a podium, visibly shaken, and confirmed they found her, dissolved in chemicals and poured into a lake. This is the Javeayah Harris case, and it just took its darkest turn yet. Javeayah Harris was 4 years old and living in Aiken, South Carolina, with her parents, Michelle Herring and Javeayah Harris. On June 30th, 2026, Herring called Aiken County 911 to report that her 4-year-old daughter had gone missing while playing outside near the family's chicken coop, and this is near their home on Hillsborough Street. In the call, Herring described Javeayah as wearing pink Minnie Mouse pajama pants with pink beads in her braided hair, and told dispatchers that she'd stepped inside briefly to cook dinner before realizing her 4-year-old was gone. That call triggered a massive search. 4 days, thousands of volunteers combed through woods, fields, and ponds around Aiken, hoping to find 4-year-old Javeayah alive. Deputies searched door to door, checked again nearby wooded areas, and the community held a vigil. Then on Saturday, the search took a different direction. Investigators, they now believe Javeayah had died at least a month before she was ever reported missing. Her parents were arrested that same day. Her father, Javeayah Harris, and Michelle Herring were both charged with murder and homicide by child abuse, and Herring was additionally charged with filing a false police report. Both were denied bond after separate hearings. The homicide charge alone carries a 20-year sentence to life. Before his arrest, Javeayah's father spoke to local reporters, insisting his daughter wasn't the type to run off, describing her as friendly, respectful, and smart. Within a day, he was in custody. On July 6, newly released arrest warrants revealed something even more disturbing. Both parents had confessed, and warrants say the pair showed extreme indifference to human life in connection with Javeayah's death. According to the warrants, both parents failed to seek medical attention for Javeayah after she suffered an injury from physical abuse at the hands of Herring. That directly contradicts the version her mother originally gave to 911. The story about the 4-year-old playing near the chicken coop and simply vanished from the backyard wearing pink Minnie Mouse pajamas. Investigators say that story was fabricated. Her mother has reportedly admitted to disposing of Javeayah's body at another location, though where has not been released. And that's why, even though with 2 confessions and 2 arrests, this case wasn't closed. Investigators didn't yet have Javeayah's remains, and search teams, including SLED and the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, had been working an area nearby Deputary Creek in the Great Falls area, along the Chesterfield-Fairfield County line, more than an hour from where the family lived. This morning, Sheriff Marty Soar, emotionally, again visibly shaken at the podium, confirmed what the community had been dreading. Some of Javeayah's remains have been recovered from a reservoir, Cedar Creek Reservoir in Fairfield County, after her body was dissolved with chemicals and poured into the water. DNA analysis on the recovered remains came back consistent with being the biological child of both Michelle Herring and Javeayah Harris. According to the sheriff, the parents made extensive and deliberate efforts to destroy and conceal evidence after Javeayah's death. using corrosive chemicals and tools to accelerate the destruction of her body before disposing of what remained in the reservoir. Sheriff Sawyer said in the 37 years in law enforcement, he'd never heard of anything so horrific. Because of how much was destroyed, the sheriff said it's unlikely that all of Javeayah's remains or any further remains will be recovered. Both parents are now facing additional charges of destruction and desecration of human remains, on top of the homicide by child abuse and false report charges they have already been held on without bond. Some answers that we still don't have at this point is just astounding. There's a lot we don't know. Investigators haven't said whether they believe both parents actively participated in her death or whether one caused it and the other helped cover it up. That distinction could matter enormously for how each of them is ultimately charged and sentenced. We also don't know exactly when in that month-long window she died. We also learned that this case has ties beyond Aiken. Reporting surfaced that police were called to the family's home in Union County back in 2025 over a domestic dispute between the two parents, a report that was ultimately logged as non-criminal with no visible injuries noted at the time. It's not evidence of what happened to Javeayah, but it's part of the bigger picture of this family that's now coming into view. Just reflecting on all of the information we do have here, it's hard to imagine how someone could look at a child that small, right? I have a 2-year-old niece. She'll be 2 in the upcoming month here. And she is just tiny and just so joyful and full of life. You know, she likes to dance. She loves Miss Rachel. She is just innocent and going through the world, learning people, learning her environment. And I couldn't imagine how scary that was for her. The other thing is to make note that the mother, if it's true, caused the initial unaliving, then she would have been in her 3rd trimester. That's pretty rough. I couldn't imagine looking up at mommy and daddy and mommy's big belly with my sibling and just not knowing what she experienced in those last hours, those last moments of breath with the people that were supposed to love and protect her. So, again, Javeayah Harris was a 4-year-old. Both of her parents are now behind bars, held without bond, facing homicide, false report, and destruction of evidence charges. Sheriff Marty Sawyer mentioned a newborn sibling of Javeayah's is now in the custody of her paternal grandmother. And I'll keep following this one as it develops. If you have any information related to this case, there is a tip line. I'll put it in the description below. As always,